Hello. Hello. Hello.
Cerveza cristal. Cerveza cristal.
Hello. Hello.
Shit, behind us! Ah,
Working and lurking is alright. Working and lurking is A-okay. Now. Do I want to start a little bit ahead of time? It's tempting. Very, very tempting. Hmm. 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 Let me have a thunk. Let me have a thunk. Yum. Yum. Have you had your hooves trimmed lately? Yes. Actually, one of the things I do need to go for before next week actually is going for a haircut. I do need to go for a haircut actually. You know what? Fuck it. Let's sit in the chat room for a little bit while I like look up like when's the next time I can get a hair appointment. Cuz there's a place that I go to for my haircuts and what have you. That's, you know, just a quick walk. and it might actually be a worthwhile place to, you know, might be worthwhile seeing if I can get a if I can get an appointment before next week. So let's see. Let us see. I love how they're making it so that continue. Let's have a look. So we've got, so there's a lot of appointments available tomorrow, but I'm not going to be able to attend any of those. Let's see. I can't get there at 3:20. Saturday, however, I could get there on a Saturday. Let's put down like a 1:30. I reckon 1:30 is good. Because then that way, like, if I'm streaming, like, because Saturday is my intent, I'm intending to stream Dawn Trail, and I don't know how long it's going to take me to get through Dawn Trail, and I would like to get to the end, but if it takes longer than the normal, like, 3 to 4 hours, then I kind of need to give myself a little bit of padding. So, yeah, let's go for Saturday. The OC should get a haircut too. No, he don't. The haircut is perfect on my model. There is never any need for adjustments or any of the such. None whatsoever. Don't be— Ah, no! No, this is too short, Dragon! It's too short! Oh, go, it's back. Nice. So yeah, alright, add that to my calendar. There we go. Alright, I got that set up for next times. I have that set up for next times, which is good. So yeah, one of the things I want to, like, look into doing is, I get paid tomorrow, which is actually really nice. Tomorrow, like, around the afternoon or something like that, I need to refresh my stock of like, you know, very low calorie diet shakes and what have you, because right now I've been on the OptiSlim, which is like, I think OptiSlim is the cheap, like, there's two brands I can go for, OptiSlim and OptiFast, and I think it's OptiSlim is the cheap one. And so, yep, open up in Outlook New instead. So OptiSlim is the is, like, I think the cheap one, and OptiFast is the one that's done by, like, Nestle, I think, or something, and is, like, a little bit expensive. So I've actually got, like, you know, maybe I've got, like, maybe a 1 week supply left of the OptiSlim, and what I need to do is I need to purchase a new pack and what have you. So ding dong habong, select calendar. Why won't it let me select a calendar? There should be plenty of calendars for me to choose from. It gets sent to my email, so you know what? Fuck it, we're not gonna add it via this ICS thing. Version 45 of the Spartan Mark Sex V Wolf? I think I'm saying that correctly. That is a lengthy name, I'm gonna be real with you. The Spartan, much love from a Floridian dive instructor. Saw you on my recommended. Hey, nice! You're my first Floridian, or at least one that has at least said that it's Mark 127 WLF. Ah. See, I can't read the Roman numerals too high, okay? I can get through, like, I don't know, maybe like 16 or 20 of them, because I've gone through, like, you know, the Final Fantasy series. Like, I've gone through Final Fantasy 14, the critically acclaimed MMORPG, Final Fantasy 14, complete with a free trial, allowing you to go through the entirety of A Realm Reborn and the award-winning Heavensward and the award-winning Stormblood expansions up to level 70 with no restrictions on playtime. The WLF stands for Withered Loner Forces. Oh. But yeah. Hi there, Spartan. Hi there, 4045. See, like, it's just there's gonna be a, you have such a long name, and there's just gonna be this very fun moment of like, I'm gonna need to find a shorty, because like Sir Dragon 88, I'm able to get away with just Sir Dragon. Renee the Rosenrot Moth, I'm able to get away with Renee. J-Cat is, you know, J-Cat. The Spartan, I feel like, just call me Vex if you want. Vex works for me. Excellent. So yeah, all right, got my hair appointment done. I'll need to purchase which one is the expensive shakes? Hang on a second. Okay, so Optifast is the next one I purchase, and those only come in pack of 18s instead of pack of 24s, which is a little bit annoying, but we're gonna look past that as I, you know, give their, you know, chocolate, vanilla, and what have you a try, because I've been on the shakes for not shaking as in like, oh, I'm getting the shakes. It's I've been on the whatsamahoozies. I've been on the diet shakes now for about, like, tomorrow will be my 2 weeks of being exclusively on the shakes eggs, because like, you know, I started on like Monday or something like that 2 weeks ago. So last week I lost like about 5 kilograms worth of weight, which was actually really good. I was really hoping I was going to be able to lose that kind of weight like each week. It was not that for this week. This week, I still lost a good amount. I lost like about like 2 kilos, which was, you know, that's not bad. Like, that's nothing to scoff at, but, you know, considering I went through like a week of like losing like 5 kilograms, like I would have really have loved to keep losing like 5 kilograms a week, because then that way I would have been out of the overweight thingy-majiggy in about I would have been out of like the you know, super obese category in like, you know, 8 weeks, and then by 10 weeks I would have been like under 100 kilos at least, and it would have been, you know, absolutely fantastic going to the United States with my family in like, you know, much lower weight, so then that way I wouldn't feel as bad eating some of the stuff that's there. But, you know, I'm just gonna have to hoof it with the usual, like, you know, sort of slowly downwards into like the 10, like, you know, 2 kilograms a week thing, which isn't great because I can only be on the shakes for about 12 weeks tops, and I think I can only get like 10 weeks into the shakes before I have to, you know, stop taking them because of, you know, going to the United States in the end of December. So I've had these since like the middle of October. I'll have all of November, and then I have until the middle of December. So I don't really have like, I don't have a full month in there. So I really only have like 6, 7. So yeah, I'll only have had it for like 2 months at best. And then I'll be on like this weird transitionary diet where it's like I'm gonna have like, you know, maybe 1 or 2 of my meals as a shake, and then the other one as like a small meal. So also, am I facing straight? I need to. I didn't like properly look. No, I'm like. Hang on a second. Let me just. I'm just gonna sit up straight and then. Bam. All right, there we go. So yeah, so like, you know. No, I was hoping to, like, you know, lose significant amount of weight, but if I'm only going to be losing, like, 2 kilograms a week, then by the time it gets to, like, December, I only will have lost, like, another, like, 12 kilograms, which is nice. That gets me, hopefully, under 120 kilograms, but that's, like, that's kind of pushing it. Like that's a very close call getting under 120 kilograms. It would be nice to be under 100 because, you know, doctor is just sort of like, wow, you are very obese. You're very fat. You need to get rid of that weight as quickly as you can. I was hoping I was going to be able to lose that weight as quickly as that, but that doesn't seem to be the case. The only ways I can lose it quicker is if I eat less, which I can't because I'm already on the minimum calorie thingy-majiggy, or I start incorporating more more ways of like getting my energy like exported and what have you. So, you know, additional exercises and such. But I can't go for weight exercises because weight exercises is like, you know, it does damages to your muscles and what have you. It's like micro tears and all that kind of shit. And the idea for, you know, getting micro tears in your muscles, so then that way your muscles actually rebuild but stronger, so then that way you can take even heavier weights and what have you. So I can't do like, you know, weights exercise. I have to go for cardio shit. But I really don't like going out of the house. I'm not I've tried, not a huge fan. I've been living on my own for like, you know, several years now, and I'm just not going to a gym. Like I was not enthusiastic about that shit, even when I was in a state where it was like, oh, I can just keep eating whatever the fuck I want. I just need to go to the gym after work or something. Nope, did not want that. I love the idea of being home after work, like at 5 p.m. or something. I'm like, yep, I'm done. Wipe my hands clean of the outside world. Ugh. And then when it gets to the weekend, ugh, I want to sleep in. I want to do nothing. So that's where I'm at. So contributions, however, to the walking pad would be nice, because then that way I would have the benefit of staying at home, doing whatever the fuck I want, but then I would also have the walking pad that's like kind of underneath my desk, so then that way I have to like walk and what have you, and don't you guys worry, like once there's like the whole walking thing. Pace, come on. Do your tracking. There we go. Once I do the whole walking thing and such like that, you bet your ass I'm going to make it like some sort of redeem or something or other. So you'll like see me walking on the walking pad and shit like that. So, yeah. Should be good. Alright. And that's about it in my, like, what's going on. So I am going to, alright, move this over here. Hit the pause button. We're going to head back into the game. If it's going to let me. Come on. Come on, PC capture. There we go. So yeah, more Black Myth Wukong. Alright. Travel. Alright. Flaming Mountains. So we already talked to that guy. So now we gotta... So we're going through something called the Heights of Ember. So yeah. Check out my throne. There you'll find like the walking pad and such that I'm, you know, saved. So some of the viewers have been contributing to it, which I really appreciate it. Even, fun fact, someone in yesterday's stream, because I did an impromptu stream of playing Black Ops 6 yesterday, I decided, I was playing some Black Ops 6, and someone was like, you'll play War Thunder, right? And I'm like, you'll have to pay me. And someone was like, I will pay you 1 bit. And I was just like, And they're like, I'll pay, you drive a hard bargain. I'll pay you 2 bits. And I was like, pay me $1. So basically 100 bits. And so they gave me 200 bits. So now I know, you know, you got those of you who want me to play War Thunder, you'll easily give me 200 bits. What I should do is I should get you to pay me 400 bits now. Alright, so that was a bit of a delay. Let's just do a pluck of many. Let's see how well this goes. Go. Oh, I thought that would be enough. Ow. There we go. Ow! Okay, I didn't realize that was a thing you would do. I didn't think it was gonna give me, like, one last smack. Also, I have now learned that I cannot just simply... So, I have, like, the thingy-majiggy, like, the spellbinder, like, spell over in my, like, right trigger E. I can't use that if I don't have all my mana, annoyingly enough. So, we're gonna have to go with an entirely different, So I can't use... And I do want to use other spells, so we're not going to use Spellbinder. We're going to keep using Immobilize, because I'm going to be frank with you, Immobilize is just so fucking useful. Alright, now, let's check out the new guy. Father of Stones. You take the form of the Father of Stones, releasing 2 powerful roars that shake and damage nearby foes. It slightly increases the critical hit chance and critical damage. That's pretty cool. Constantly increases maximum health, but moderately... Oh, considerably increases maximum health, but moderately reduces maximum stamina. Equips a small amount of stamina when hit. Increases movement speed. Slightly increases critical hit chance when in a poison state. Ding. Recover a small amount of health when taking medicine. Slightly increases key gain from hits, but significantly reduces maximum health, mana, and stamina. Gain a small amount of focus on hit. Increase poison damage. Moderately increase maximum stamina. Considerably reduces the mana cost for a pluck of many. That one's a good one. This is the clay thing. It increases the burn resistance. Honestly, this might be worth just, you know, pouring a little... I don't have the will for it. God damn it. I'm going to need to waste some of my will. Alright. Moving on. Oh, there's the weird fire. Alright, so we get a little bit more will from that, a little bit more will from this. Can I open these doors? Yes, I can. But color me curious about the other areas I can fight. Thank you for the bellflower. They blow up. Alright, so... Ooh, hello. Ah, goddamn you, you're a... Also, why are you blue? Ow! I was gonna hit you with my super move, and you went and fucked it up. Ow! Okay, so you're strong. Alright, get rid of you. Evil repelling. Tiger subduing. 2, 1. spin to win always works. Alrighty, drink you, thank you. And then pick up you. Thank you, that fills up my health once more. So this was a nice little detour spot. Hi there, Aaron Stone. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing alright. Welcome, welcome. How are things? Giving me a big sniff. Giving a real sniff. Real sniffer energies right there. Alright, where the fuck is this taking me? Oh, hey, there's a tree thing. Okay. Ooh, but we got this dude here. Come on, blow up. There we go. There we go. And then you're gonna blow up as well. Nope, you get knocked over. Okay, so if you get knocked over, you don't explode. You're doing good, doing some writing, hoping I'm well. I'm doing fairly alright. I'm still on my shakes diet, and I was able to lose 2 kilograms in this week. Not as much as like 5 kilograms like I was last week, but, you know, shit happens. One day in the future, I might get another week where it's like, you know, a good amount of weight loss, but I think the only way to do that is if I up the amount of exercise that I do in a week, or the amount of activity that I do in a week, but that's not likely going to happen just because of, you know, my mood and the things I like to do. I very much like playing video games, okay? I don't know if you guys know this very well. The fact that I will play things such as, you know, Black Myth Wukong. I went and played Black Ops on my free time on Saturday. No, not Saturday, Sunday. Cookie for Kahlua! Welcome, Kahlua. How's it going? Oh, shit! Oh, Jesus! Did I get him? I think I got... Oh, I got a bit of him. Oh! There we go. Almost there, almost there, almost there with this...
boy.
No, like for you, you went and threw an anvil on me. Spin to win wins. I'm more of a COD, Advanced Warfare dude. Fair enough. I don't... Like, I've gone through some of the COD games, don't get me wrong. I've gone through, like, Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, Modern Warfare 2, and Modern Warfare 3. I then went through the remake of Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. I watched Modern Warfare 3, like the remake one, and it was like, eh. I haven't gone through Vanguard. I did like the look of Black Ops 6, and the fact that it's, like, ever since Activision Blizzard got purchased by Microsoft, fuck Bobby Kotick, you can just get Black Ops 6 on the Xbox Game Pass. And because I got, like, the, you know, the Ultimate Pass or whatever, so it's like, you know, I'm able to get both both PC and Xbox games. Game Pass, Xbox. Yes. That is
I don't care what gender you
No,
are.
Renee!
Put on the
Why
man
would you do
outfit.
this to me? Hi, YY. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, because I had the Xbox Game Pass, I went and played Black Ops 6, which was fun.
Hello.
I got all these others. Bronze cart. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck! Alright, let's get moving. Running. Running. Let's not wait for the cart to just be, you know, not done with us. Also, why is the... Oh, that's why, because, like, people are trying to do shit. Ah! No, not the cactar! It severely slows down my CPU and shit when you do that to me. Game is lagging. Yeah, game was lagging for me as well. It's because everyone was doing all kinds of shit to me. Oh, you bastard. Ah! Fuck. Everything is on fire. There we go. Oh, oh, don't you fucking dare. Alright, let's just be an asshole. Alright, yeah. Okay, hopefully game isn't lagging anymore. There we go. Leave him to fall to his death. Drink more of this because it gives us mana back. There we go. Alright, this should fill it up to full. Nice outfit. Does it come in men's? Why? So your husband can wear it? I don't know. That I tried a comeback. I tried a comeback. I feel like that was the best one I could come up with. Is like, nice men. Does it come as men's? Oh, so you can get for your husband. But you know, that's not a great insult. And what's more, some people have husbands. So, but yeah. This is a made outfit that was made for me by Wulk, the same person that made my model, and I could never give up on this outfit because this is the only other alternative outfit. Oh Jesus! Fuck you, random mushroom man! Fuck you. Alright, hang on. I need to eat the thingy-majiggy that, like, that gets rid of the poison. Where's the thingy-majiggy that gets rid of the poison? Body cooling and anti-miasma. There we go. Hi, is you? Aaron Stone's the husband? Oh, I didn't know that. Kahlua, do you know Aaron Stone? Monkey just going satisfied. Oh my god, Miss Sonic, welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing alright. Alright, leave him to explode on his own. Alrighty. Ah, nice. So it was a good idea to open alternative shit. Thank you for Amber prayer beads. Color me curious. What do the amber prayer beads do? Moderately increases the speed of built-up focus points. Oh, absolutely. Let's go for that one. No one knows me. Tis Enigma. You also misspelled Enigma. It's all part of the Enigma illusion. That's all it is. Also, is that the Buddha? I guess it is the Buddha. Alright, so yeah, so that was where we get the thingy-majiggy. Man, it's really easy to get lost when you're in the dark. I like that curio. I got up to like 3 thingy-majiggies before he was even done with me. This is actually pretty good. You be good just relaxing your computer playing War of Rights? Never heard of that before. War of Rights. Alright, here we go. No one knew. So yeah. So part of the enemy. Alright, I now have to deal with more not oh. Oh shit. Alright, so I need to somehow get past you. go, let's 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 go. Whoa. Go. Ow, 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 ow. Come on, get another one in you. There we go. Go. I have a technique. I have a technique now to deal with them carts. But yeah. You're an amazing streamer with loads of talent and a great personality. I look forward to seeing you stream every day, and I feel happy every time I see you stream. Thank you, Masonic. I greatly appreciate it. I myself do enjoy streaming. Lord knows I want to do this rather than exercise. So I have to, like, try and find means of, like, you know, subverting exercise requirements. Also, there's, like, a little girl screaming in this. I'm guessing it's the thing tied up on the tree.
Help! Help me, young master!
There. Wait, that's... Oh, that's a fox!
It's you, kind monkey! Oh, help me, please! Things went south in the mountain and I barely escaped. But on my way down, Guys captured me. I've been kept here for 3 days. But now my luck has returned. My savior appeared here right in front of me. Should you extend your mercy to save my family? I'll repay your kindness at any cost.
Master got it right.
The fuck is that? What the fuck is that face? Oh my god, I wasn't close enough? Okay, let's deal with... Neither of these are desirable ones.
Away. Less trouble then. I need a breather. You sick sluggard! I might die! The fire is mine! Sweeps the fire!
Watch out!
Oh, okay, so they all, like, take...
every time!
Alright. Not fun. One of them is up in the air flying, which I don't really appreciate.
Look out!
There we go. There we go. So he's almost dead. Oh, hi there, Noah guy.
Sweeps the fire!
Here's the thing. You are at an annoying height. Alright, how are you gonna do this? There we go.
To feed the fire! Try your head against my blade!
There we go.
You sure know how to fight.
There we go. Quick as fire, fast as wind is defeated. All of it on the first go, thank Christ. Uh-oh, catch the... Alright, we caught the fox. Ooh.
Aren't you, boy? But these eyes have seen prettier disguises.
That's not a boy. There's clearly breasts there.
If a single lie slips, my rake shall strike true.
That was so close. Thank you for saving me. I am the Bull King's daughter, Ping Ping.
Oh, nonsense! The bull has no daughter. Dare to fool me, scoundrel!
I know who you are. My mother is Princess Fairfox. You killed her. After my mother died, I've been living with my father. His wife, Princess Rakshasi, took me in as her own. Later, brother came back from Bodhisattva Guanyin, and we reunited. We had some peaceful days. My brother was kind to me and to our parents. But somehow, not long ago, he suddenly changed. He secretly summoned his old troops for a coup, imprisoned father, kept mother under strict watch. I had nowhere else to turn. I had to go for help.
Right.
But barely after leaving the place, his minions fell upon me.
The Bull King's might is known. Even together, Wukong and I couldn't rival him. Rakshasi's plantain fan is also formidable. And you want me to believe that they were subdued by a kid?
Subdued by their son. Who else could make them put their guard down? Really, with soft hearts, they could never harm him.
You idiot! This fox is fooling you!
Look at this place. Only my brother's Samadhi fire could wreak such havoc.
Right.
Oh no. My father is dying. Please, kind monkey, help me and my family.
Perilous place this is.
Yep.
Keep this cicada safe with you. It'll come in handy.
Cool.
That's a voice I know well. I'll go ahead and take a look.
No time to lose now. Follow me.
Oh, are you gonna take it like a path I can take, or are you just gonna...
This way.
Alright, I know monkeys, like, can move around a lot and shit, but I'm gonna have to take the long way, because I'm one of those standing monkeys, not those climbing monkeys. But hey, we get ourselves a shrine, so we can rest and refill our gourd and all that kind of shit. Also, hi there, Code! Welcome to the stream! Welcome, welcome. Demons often use children's voices to lure you into a false sense of security. Well, I guess I get it. Oh, and we've got... What's this map? Code! Alright, so we have those violent forms.
Nani?
Ugh! Code is stinky. Remember that. Remember that, chat. It's Code that's the stinky one. Alright, the Immobilize, we can't do too much to. Spellbinder, not worth. Cloud Step, we've done a number of things. Cookie for Jason! Here's your cookie, Jason. Hi there, Minty, welcome to the stream. We are playing the monkey game. That one requires 2. We've already gone through, like, basically all the smash stances. Alright, I'll keep the 1 spark, because we'll use it for something else, no doubt. And then we've got... Actually, you know what? Hang on a sec. Reignite sparks. I'm gonna get rid of that, that spellbinder nonsense we're gonna reclaim. Because we don't use spellbinder shit. What does this one do? Consumer to massively extend the immobilization duration. Honestly, yes, because I use that so fucking much. When below 1 skill point, the Destiny can still perform varied combos, but with significantly reduced damage. That one is for the critical hit chance. Slightly increases the Forbane resistance. Maximum health, Forbane duration. Increases the focus gain from perfect dodges. When with 4, automatically performing a heavy thrust attack after a roll, dodge, or perfect dodge. You know, that's a good one. Because then that way I'm just doing like an insta thingy-majiggies. Alright, this one we're going to apply... Fuck it, let's just do it to the health. Let's start getting our health up. Alright, we rest. How far are you into RE4? Oh, did you purchase RE4 for Halloween code? Nice! Well, I hope you have some fun. So that's the remake, or you picked up like the original to play on an older console? Yeah, maximum health already getting increased. Nice, 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 nice. All right, into.
What secrets did Master Pig whisper to you just now? I've let go of our blood feud, but he still holds so much hostility. My brother's minions are everywhere. Stay close to me, kind monkey. Brother and I used to play around there. The Valiant Six had their ways of amusing us. What fun we had together.
Hmm.
I'll get through this hole, and you can pass by that crack ahead.
Crap. Going to play classic, then the remake? Ah, okay, okay. That sounds good. That sounds cool. We'll see how it goes.
My paws beat your feet.
Yeah, no shit, because I have to squeeze through cracks and you just walk. Fuck's sake, this volcano. Eee!
That's father. He's right there. My brother's Samadhi fire has obstructed all paths uphill.
Uh-huh.
To quench it, Mother's Plantain fan is a must. But she'd never... Come with me!
Alright, so now we're going an entirely different direction. Your fat ass ain't getting through there. Well, that's because you're not playing Black Myth Wukong and I am.
This cliff, there is a secret passage to her palace. She should be there.
You want us to go down a giant
And
cliff.
used against her precious son.
Problem child. Last I checked, I don't survive Great Big Falls. Or I do, if there's like a puddle of water at the thing.
Got it! Quite nearby, there is a deity we can turn to. One said to be Mother's old friend. If we could persuade him to come along, maybe he could talk Mother into giving us the fan. I'll go find him. Be careful out here.
Oh, hello. It's one of you rock people. Ow. Alright, so now we have to deal with the rock variant. We have to now deal with a fire variant of the rock dudes. Spinning to winning still works, thankfully. Very weak without your shield, thank goodness. Whew! Grant molds like firm Play-Doh through tight spaces. Oh! I could. Not right now though, but I could. Alright, moving on. Moving on. Ba, 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 ba. Da, da, da. There we go. Spinning to winning is always great. How's the shake diet going? I have so far have lost another 2 kilograms. Ow. I have lost another 2 kilograms this week, which is rather nice. And I aim to try and lose more, as, you know, so long as I can get more weight loss. I haven't been able to lose like a 5 kilograms a week like I could last week. Would it be nice, but I feel like the only way if I can do that is if I put more exercise into my day. But considering, oop. Come on, and there. Considering I don't like doing it a lot of days, the only way I can imagine doing it is with like the walking pad that I got. There we go. Uh-oh. Well, that's your mistake. I'm not going into the lava. Fuck that nonsense. Oh, no, I went into lava. Ow. Fuck.
Monkey. No. This is not
Ow.
monkey. Same thing. You fool. Monkey. Never mind.
Fuck you. I wasn't paying attention. So yeah, so the intention, still on the diet thingy-majiggy for minimum another week, because you have to do a minimum 3 weeks, but I'm gonna try and get for as long as I can before I go to the States, so I'm probably gonna get like maybe another 8 more weeks into me, most likely, hopefully. So, we'll see how we go. We'll see how it goes. It would be nice to lose another 5 kilos a week, because then that way I would be able to, like, just rocket through all that kind of shit, but it's not likely to happen, so. Ooh, Flame Mediator. Interesting. I will definitely need to see what the fuck that does. Alright. Give me another jump scare. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Like 2 more. We'll be rooting for you. Thank you. Because I know, like, I remember, like, a lot of people were like, so what's the weight loss for? And it's like, it's just so I can fit into shirts a lot better and I don't have a fucking stomach poking out of the bottom. Because I know some people, you know, are fine with their weight and such. I'm not fine with my weight. I don't like what fat looks like on me. So, because it takes artistic skill to look good while fat, and I do not have the time or the effort to do such a thing. There we go. Got rid of them before the shield was a problem. Totally understandable. Thank you. So. Alrighty. Yeah, there's just lava fucking everywhere. go. God, I almost ran out of stamina with that one. Maybe the trick is to actually get, like, stamina. Also, fuck you, weird demon fireworm baby thing. I've been in places where I look fine slimmer and currently look fine thicker, so my preferences can go either way. Understandable, oh Noah guy. Look, as I said, like, you know, several weeks ago is, ow, fuck, do not fall into the lava. As I said, like, several weeks ago, it's like, I'm not looking to complain and say that, you know, people can't be fat or, you know, thick, overweight, or whatever the, you know, scale or value is for you. Different people can handle it, and different people, you know, can pull it off and such. And what's more is, if your basis is like on, you know, people online and such, you're gonna need to hold that, because some of them put a lot of work to look like that. They don't just, you know, wake up like that. The fuck are you?
Intruders to the Princess Palace face.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, there's two of you. Interesting. There. No. Oh, there. Where the fuck is the blinded dude? There. Oh, okay. So after the dodge, I then need to do the hit, and then I can do that.
Outrun me! Ready? Smoke! No fire! No execution! It's so good!
Nice.
Join him.
There we go. Alright, drink that as full as I can. There we go. And this will... Another one bites the dust. You knew someone who was in the same boat as you to slim down because they developed a beer gut and are lifting with you to get rid of it? Nice. It's a healthy mindset to be ballsy positive in the way you want it to be. Yeah, so... The thought process I have and such like that is, like, I'm not looking to be Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Hemsworth or even a Chris Pratt. Like, I don't know, like, what kind of Chris Pratt I want to look like and what have you as well. But I know that I don't want to look like what I do right now, which is having an obvious, like, belly in the photos and such like that. And to, like, just have, like, you know, just overall fat. It's not my thing. I don't appreciate it. Alrighty. So I wanna like, you know, remove those kinds of things. And plus it helps that there's just something really obvious of, you know, you're grossly overweight for your height and what have you, and you don't really have all that muscle, so quite frankly, you need to lose weight. I'm totally fine with that. Alright, let's have a look. We have a new soak. What's the new soak? Using the gourd moderately increases burn resistance for a short time. Absolutely, we're going to use that one. Alright, can we craft weapons? Alright, so that's for when we're in a poison state. Continually gain focus for a brief moment after seeing through the enemy. Increase damage executed by charging your heavy smash. We don't have a new thing for that. This one can make something, but we need way more will to do it. It increases damage by the pillar stance moves. So, alright. Bald. Alright, where's the one that gives me massively increases drinking speed, first sip replenishes health, grants chill immunity, and increases maximum considerable amount of health. Where's the one? There's one that's like, here it is. The gourd grants a moderate amount of burn resistance and immunity from fire-covered terrain for a short period. We're gonna use that one. Because I picked up a gourd that can do that. So then that way we can go around the lava areas and what have you. Because I betcha they gave me that in order to try and do some... in order to, like, you know, explore around other places that feature lava and such. Because, like, the amount of times I nearly fell to lava and such like that is fairly high. Fuck you. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. There we go. Alright. Let's get down to business. Alright, so that's some will. Oh. Alrighty. Alright, fire dates, thank you. You're bigger, so you get the bigger hit. Actually, a lot of you are bigger. There we go. Oh, we get the big baby here. And I missed. Eee! Welcome back, Masonic. Every time that video plays, it does, like, slow down my nonsense, I realized. There we go. Drink you. Absorb you, because I'm basically, like, you know, out of your thing, and you'll be useful. Yep, you refill it to full, which is what I want. Alright. Turtle treasure. You've been here the whole time? Yeah, but you just, you know, you're doing your thing. Got another section. But yeah, right now we're like running around lava, seeing like what's around and such. Oh. There we go. Fire date seeds, nice. There's another one of you. Gotcha. Ooh, we get something called Flame Ore as well. Boob window. Yes, because this is how some people would prefer me, like, dressed on a daily basis, is just having this like huge boob window. Alrighty.
In death, I desire but a complete and final cessation.
Uh-huh.
My life for the god's demise. I deem it worthy. If you can't free me from his evil, you should walk away. From death roots life, and from life, death. I should have discerned his malice.
What?
Since I've bid farewell with kind words, you should depart now.
No. Let's...
My body has been exploited. I beg you to leave my soul in peace. Go. Take the whip now, and my soul shall scatter. I implore you to stop. Life has much. I should let go. I cannot rest in peace before my body is freed from darkness.
Where? Like, I kind of want that now.
Life has much.
Alright.
I should let go. I cannot rest in peace before my body is freed from darkness.
Alright, so now I need to help him out however I can. Oh. Fuck you. Fuck you and your fucking mushroom nonsense. Fuck you. Alrighty, so there's a dude trapped in a cart. Alright, need to take my anti-miasma pool. There we go. Alright, so now there's this side of the... Oh, cool, I can jump over this thing. Nice. Grab this. Ignore you, because I only have a limited amount of time to have this thing diggy. Oh, boy. Go. I kind of pushed him into a corner, haven't I? Or I can just defeat him with the spin to win thing. Samadhi Fire Crystal. No idea what the fuck that's for. I'll do some research. It has been my favorite, hasn't it? I now have something called a flint shield. Alrighty. Alright, so we got out of, like... got out of that level of troubles. Alright, maybe that's what I was... maybe that's what I needed, the fire samadhi thing. Maybe after that, I'll then be able to, you know, do the needful, get the, like, whip out of the cart or whatever the fuck it is. Let's see here.
Why much? I should let go. I cannot rest in peace.
No.
Before my body is freed from darkness.
Alright, hang on. So, let's have a little quick look at some steps, some guides. Let's have a look and see who can give us... so we're at chapter 5, secret. Let's have a look. 5 elemental carts. Alright, so... yep, we talked to the axe guy. Find the 5 carts in the region. Look for the axe store whenever he moves to a new location. Break open the ice door and the something or others. Alright, so the first one was the bronze we defeated. Second one was the gray. Third is in... yep, so that's where we're at right now. So this war cart can be found at the right side of the underground cavern with lava flows. For the sake of clarity, we didn't actually fight this war cart. It was already destroyed once we get here. However, we need to pull the rope device on it several times. Continue onwards until you defeat the Firekeeper Flaming Mountain boss in the Emerald Hall, then return to this war cart and pull on the rope again. Uh-huh. Alright, so I need to deal with the Keeper of the Flames, or whoever. Oh, hello, this has a thing. Let's see. Staff of Blazing Karma. Charged at heavy attacks and smash stance that cost over 3 focus points. Inflict a bursting lava effect on the ground. We need 3 of these Samadhi Fire Crystals for that. Absolutely fucking insane. Well, now we know. So that gives me 72. Alright. here's what I'll do. I'll use this thing. This takes us back to the shrine that we were at previously. Incense Trail Talisman. The journey westward stretches far, over towering peaks and water dire. Keep the trail talisman near. Was this where I was? Yes, it was. Okay, cool. Alrighty, so there's the pill here. Nice! Maximum mana. Increases our mana. That's always nice. And then we get... So then we open this thing. Alrighty. Alright, we got several problematic...
Seize him!
You're a very ugly fucking bull. There we go. Yes, we're gonna run around the lava first and see if we can find anyone. There we go. Open that. Alright, let's keep looking around. Drink that. It's time for Big Brain. Yes, we had our time for Big Brain. Alright, there we go. Alright, was there anything? So there might have been something down here. A lot of lava flow nonsense. Hey, a chest! Alright, cool. Awesome. Fine. Gold thread. Nice. Alright. A lot of exploring.
Our lady welcomes no outsiders.
You made me waste my fucking... Alright, you get the spanking. There we go.
Want to meet our lady?
Oh, those are giant dudes. Alright, yeah, we're not gonna fuck with them. Nice. Honestly, the roll and then being able to do like the instant charge is actually pretty good. So that basically puts me back at the same place I was earlier. So we do need to progress, and the easiest way to progress would be to just keep to the path. Oh yeah, we got an advertisement, by the by. Sorry about that, chat. I'm sorry, did one of them just decide to throw a fucking fit at me? Yes, they did. Oh, your staff got... Darn shield? Alright, there we go. No more shield. Alright, let's get out of the way of you. Offer our incense and let's go. Yeah. Yeah, no, still can't make it because we don't have the thing for it. So, moving on.
Keep this cicada safe with you. It'll come in handy.
Enough about your brother. If you care for him so much, why not go back to him and give me some peace?
If you don't ask, Mother, then I implore you to lend me your Plantain fan to save Father.
Save him, or this mountain from its doom. Both are beyond this fan.
Mother, please, I'm begging you. Father's life hangs on a thread which Brother could cut short any moment.
Since when did you start caring for that old bull? Do you not think you can hide your secret wish from me? You wish you could rule this mountain with your brother once we are finished.
That is not true, Mother. If that were my wish, why would I bring this master here to help?
Words from cunning foxes. You just want to trade my fan for a smile on your brother's face.
Wow.
I owe my life to Father. And to your kindness for taking me in. Brother was good to me, but I would never betray my parents for him.
Say no more of the fan. We raised the boy. Guess this is what we deserve. But you... why are you here at this very moment?
Rakshasi, I'm not a part of your family, and I'm aware I have no voice in this.
Who are you?
But Ping told me the destined one had arrived.
The destined one, who doesn't even know what he's destined for. Those old bastards must have pulled a muscle coming up with the name.
You and I both know who he truly is. When the time comes, your children, your husband, and even this very palace could all turn to ashes.
What do I have to fear from a mere pawn? He's no match for us. He can't even rival the power of my fan.
Once the truth is revealed, suddenly he is here. Do you not find it odd? Such a twist of fate.
The truth? The truth of what? Who are you talking about?
I heard the Destined One had obtained all the other relics. Rakshasi, your situation is grave. Do you not see who mandated his return? Were those relics really bestowed for your good? Perhaps amid these schemes and plots, we've unwittingly become stepping stones for his rebirth. For others, I care not. All along, you are all I care for. I say we should leave
She does look
together.
cool. She does look sexy.
I vow to treasure you dearly. Just like when we're up there.
I never thought that one day you'd be the only one I can rely on. I am overwhelmed. Come, sit with me, and tell me what to do.
Don't let him, Mother! Don't you see? He's taking advantage of you! You lecher! I called for your help, not your treachery! How dare you!
A child of a concubine should know better manners. When I first crossed paths with her, your bull of a father was no more than livestock, munching on a patch of grass.
Have you no shame? Mother, don't be fooled!
Enough of your endless prattle.
What the?
No, that's better.
Did he just
Rakshasi.
kill her or take her
Have
somewhere?
we not been this close since our time in Tushita Palace?
Well, yes, I do miss the old days too. We were so happy back then.
What in the blazes?
No tricks here. It's just my hoof. You deserve to know before we kiss.
You will live to repent this! Filthy lowlife! You dare take her form and beguile me!
My old friend, wasn't it fun? Have we not been this close since our carnage in the fox den?
You abhorrent fraud! My candid words were wasted on your foul ears!
Candid, my hoof. Your revenants are everywhere. I thought you'd have better lies. Quick on your heels, huh? Well then, boy, let us teach this brazen adulterer a lesson.
Maid outfit is over after an hour.
Beast, your savagery knows no cure.
Keeper of Flaming Mountains.
You will behave once my sourceless water from Tushita drops.
What?
I've aided your journey once. Now I shall aid you again on your way to death.
Oh, interesting. I've got like yin yang nonsense on me.
Yin yang to infinity.
I can barely follow this fight, like the logistics.
You think you know your stuff? Watch and learn. The vision of mine
Oh.
is a world devoid of Yaoguais like you.
I'm here. I'll give you another hand. My love. Offer yourself.
Endless meditation. I granted you no wisdom.
Oh, hey, it's, the horse dude. Or a water variant of him. I was hoping to save that for the keeper, but I guess not. There we go. Sorry, old friend.
From yin and yang arises two sides. From land and sky emerges the divide. Now, you shall be feasted upon by my yin-yang fish.
The what?
What a stingy host. Such a meager fish. Hardly enough for a platter.
I imagine it's gonna grow bigger. Oh, there it is. I'm not gonna have a great time with this one, I'm gonna be real with you. Especially if I don't have the health for it. Get closer, please. Well, that was a waste. That was a waste.
The order ends here.
Now I have to go through that fight all over again with, like, barely any, like, control and then deal with the yin-yang fish somehow. There's gonna be a reason for that yin-yang shit, by the by. There must be something to it. Because it's not a Four Banes thing, it's something else. Alrighty. Anything in this area worth collecting, or... Yep, there is. There's a meditation spot. Alright, let's take a minute to breathe. Alrighty. Alright, let's now deal with this Keeper of the Flame and his fish.
Life succeeds death. Death begets. Your fate.
Alright, let's deal with the archers first.
You think you know your stuff? Watch and learn!
Uh-oh.
Speak!
Time to be some of you!
Yin Yang the drift, demise.
Alright, I think what I should do is I should drink... Alright, so that's over. He gets swallowed by the fish. Let's have the potion that, like, gets rid of the 4 Banes. Let's go. Freeze you, if it will. Oh! And then it becomes white. Now. Go. That's light and dark. Yeah, I guess it was light and dark. I was just wondering what the effect was when it was light and dark. So
The turmoil you witness is but a ripple caused by a drop from above.
you make no sense, weird medicine man that was like wooing on a pig.
What? Gone already? Bad news after a good nap. He's gone too far from a furnished servant. A decent lad he was.
Uh-huh.
Decent until ruined by brother Wukong. Then destiny carried him further to fall for the wrong woman.
Still no sense. Sorry.
You, go up this way. Check if any way leads up. I'll go look around. The owner might be gone, but her treasure might still be there.
There's also something there. Like, what is that? Long bomb. It's a kind of drink. The Yin Yang Daoist robe. Okay. Alright, let's see. Is there another shrine we can quickly stop off at? And then we'll teleport back to, like, the start of this thing, so then that way we can go check out the cart. Because we fought that weird horse spirit thing, and I wonder if that's, like, the trick we need to do. Got rid of you. Yep, there's something causing me problems. There's something gonna be causing me grief. If you need assistance on additional exercise with your diet, I'm open to help. Well, one of the things I'm looking for is actually like some like contributions to the walking pad that I found, because one of the things that I do like doing, but I've not like kind of enjoyed doing like while here, is actually to go for like walks and what have you. But the thing is that I don't normally have like, you know, either the free time to do it, or I'm, you know, I just don't want to leave the home. So with the walking pad that I found, not only can it hold my weight, because most walking pads will only hold like 120 kilograms. This one will hold 145, so guaranteed to hold my ass. So it would be nice to have that walking pad. Oh, hello. We are not in the right purview for dealing with you like this. Go, come on. I was very low on health, and I didn't have the potions for this, but that's fine, because now we can just, you know, fuck off back to the other, shrine that we were meant to go to, and then, yeah. So is it a walking pad or path? It's a walking pad, so the thing that's on the... Wait, there's a difference between a walking path and a walking pad? Because it's not a treadmill, I can tell you that much. It's not going to be able to hold like 160 kilograms and me like sprinting at like 12, 20 kilometers an hour. I can tell you that much right now. Alright, back to the valley entrance, I suppose. Then we can just like run through the place and then we'll go to like the end thingamadickies. Check out my throne. Go. Excuse me, throat. Go. Oh, it's that dude again with the sword and the shield. Never mind, he's all the way down there. He's gonna fuck around. Leave him be. Ooh, what the fuck was that move when I was in the air? There we go. And then get rid of you. Fuck you, weird demon babies. I misheard as if you had an outdoor trail in your vicinity or were figuring out ideal paths, which is way different. Ah, okay. Can you solve a brain teaser?
It has been for too long.
Do tell me
yours
your
now.
brain teaser.
My journey of life. A fleeting dream.
Dark thunder. In darkness, cunning change doth brew. Slow of step, yet resolve. Transform into a horsewhite, immune to thunder damage, inflicting thunderbane on the enemy, and focus building up before transformation can be converted for use afterwards. Nice. Alright, first and foremost, we're heading back to the village so we can double check if there's any potions we can pick up. We can maybe upgrade one of our gourds, pick up some new, drop off a seed, get some new materials, and then talk to the tiger dude to level up some of his stuff. There we go. Alright, what do you got for me, Zhu Dog?
Self-refinement is the way to make golden pit. It retains the energy of both this world and beyond.
Nice, nice. Alright, can we make any celestial medicines? Alright, we've got no mind cores, and we've already used like 17 of 18 into the defense, so... Enhancing focus, costing no stamina. Oh, actually no, we should sell some of our stuff. So, boom. Sell you, sell you, sell you. I don't know if this... I still feel like it's valuable to us. I don't know if it's only valuable for selling.
Is a means to an end. My destiny's course.
Cheers! Cheers!
Alright, and then we now have a new drink, which is Long Bomb. Each sip recovers 30% of maximum health, considerably increases damage executed by the next attack. That's kind of crazy. It's a mythical level as well. And you can have like 4 soaks, which is actually kind of insane. So that's already upgraded to the highest tier. And we don't have enough worms for that one. So this one is already upgraded to the highest tier. And this one increases based off of the number of duplicates we've got. Question.
Try it as you will. Joy is what counts.
Alright. Let's change our brew. So this one gives us a moderate amount of mana, but I do like the idea of having 4 different soaks, like Jesus Christ. Let's see. Ring of Fire, Unveiling Strike, So using the gourd significantly increases the attack for the next unveiling strike and for a short duration. The rock solid costs no mana. Moderately extends the duration of duplicates for the next pluck. Alright, so we're gonna go with that one, because that's always our guaranteed. Increases critical hit chance. Damage reduction. And massively increases based off of thingy. So, oh, actually, you know what? We won't go for critical hit chance. What we'll go for instead is the burn resistance. And then this one is damage resistance. Stands the duration of invincibility upon executing a dodge for a short duration. Using the gore can no longer be interrupted by incoming attacks and now provides considerable damage reduction. You know, let's go with those iron pellets. So this removes the poison status and moderately increases the... Yeah, so we'll go with like 4 different soaks. That's pretty good. And then it's telling us, yeah, we can upgrade that drink if we want. Or we can upgrade that gourd. I'm not interested in upgrading the gourd.
No going back to the court now.
Alright.
Only drink can drown my sorrow.
What do you think of my work?
I have more seed to give you, old dragon chum.
I've spent... As they say, fine soil yields fine sprouts and fine... Who's
One
that?
word that starts with P and ends with... Nis. I'm gonna be real with you, YY, but that just sounds like penis. You teed me up for that one.
What's fair to the eye?
Alright. So, the bronze uses fine gold threads, giving us a higher burn resistance, which I like. Higher burn resistance, we're gonna go with that. And this one wants celestial ribbons. Yeah, that one wants celestial ribbons.
Prove foul to have.
Alright, so we did some good upgrades there. Can't do the thingy-majiggy for that. We could get the golden longstaff. It gives us quite a bit of damage. Moderately increases the damage dealt by all pillar stance moves. A long can be summoned to execute thunder at the enemy at pillar stance heavy attacks that cost 3 or 4 focus points. So right now I'm using this, which gives me 90 and a 10% crit hit chance. This one would just give me 9-8, which would lower my chances. Pepperonis. I'll be real with you. That wasn't even going to be my second choice. I didn't know what my second choice would be. I am an idiot. And then that one apparently has something. And that one's the makeshift staff. I do like the idea of this one, because this one gives me burn resistance and defense, but I need the Samadhi fire crystals to do it. I can get cold leaves, get yarn and silk up the wazoo. But I don't want yarn and silk, it's like... Alright. When health is above half, the Destined One is in a Yang state, which moderately reduces damage taken, but disables critical hits. When health is below half, the Destined One shifts to Yin state, which massively increases critical hit chance, but massively increases... That is a terrible idea! Orochi... Let's go... So that does the shock stats. Where's the one that I just been upgrading? So that's the non-pure. That's the long... So that one is part of a set. This gives us burn resistance, which I'm all for. And then if we need to, we can, because this one increases like the chance of materials being dropped, which I really like. If we need to, we could swap to this thing, where upon crashing the immobilization on the enemy, massively reduces the cooldown for immobilization spell. So yeah, because that gives us way more defense. Like we got a pretty decent amount of defense already, so yeah. Let's see how we do. Travel to the Flaming Mountains, to the Furnace, to the Emerald Hall. Yeah. Different places have their own local specialities and materials. Why not take the opportunity to trade and make the most of your visit? That is considerate. Excuse me. Dunk, donk. Alright, cool. So user will be in tomorrow. Alrighty. Now, with more gourd resources and some cooler soaks, let's see how we do here. Also, please forgive the fact that this thing is like, you know, having a fucking stroke. If I were a rich furry, na 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 na. See, I would buy all the bells and the whistles just so I can have a PC. Alright, cool. So that guy's not there anymore. We only have to deal with the cart that's up ahead. Hopefully we don't have as hard of a time with this cart as we did the other. There he is. go. I almost forgot about the cart thingy, about the rolling allows me to instantly do the 4. That would have been very helpful to remember earlier. Not dealing with lava anymore. Can I change my gourd without a problem? Hopefully so. Wait, no. Yeah, that's the right one. This is the right one. Nope, nothing cool with you there. We just keep hearing the bull moaning and complaining right now. God damn this mountain. And we got that dude up there to deal with. It is sad that I don't get, like, you know, mana back and what have you when I take a drink, but it wasn't giving me, like, a huge amount, so I just need to be more mindful with my spells again. Wasn't there some place I could, like, upgrade my gourd? I swear there was, like, 4th. We have completed. Alright, so the. Coming up this until you come across the enemy. The difference now can spin around. It's such a cramped space, so you better watch out for his impact. Alright, we have already completed in this region when you decide to tackle the remaining. So you're assuming you destroyed 4 of the 5 carts that you did. Now is look for the pale axe to it. He'll move around whether you talk to him and exhaust all dialogue. After chatting with him for the first time, he'll move to the edge of the cliff to be sure to exhaust his dialogue. Files travel out of the area. He'll be in the area where you fought the Crimson Silver part. So we. All right. So. Hang on. Ding. So which one was the Crimson Silver? Okay. So. Emerald Hall there. So rest. Alright, head to the Camp of Seasons, exhaust his dialogue there, and then he'll end up like somewhere else. I thought I exhausted his dialogue a while ago. Alright. So yeah, there he is there. That's where he was last time. Maybe it's because I only defeated... So there was one there, one stuck in the valley. 4th one was already 3rd one was already destroyed, and then we fought a 4th one.
I tolerate no evil under my nose. Neither does my axe. Bring me more revenants so I can chop them up. Heed my words. The Red Boy's carts are nothing more than a distraction. Thinks he can outwit me. Bah! That brat! Make haste and head up the mountain. We must figure out what he's planning. They are called 5-element carts for a reason. What's your tally? The entrance is secured for now. You can go first, and I'll catch up with you later. The king once told me that each of the 5 cards has its own unique nature. The king once told me...
Alright, so we've exhausted his dialogue, which means that we now need a rest at the we now need a rest at the shrine, and then next step was to go to the Emerald Hall. Oh hey, dates. Nope, bellflower. I thought they were dates. Instead, they were bellflowers. If I were a rich furry, na 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 na. I would have all the money in the world. Alright, so we rest, and then we travel to the Emerald Hall. Also, wasn't... I swear there was, like, you know, a shrine? Or not a shrine, but there was, like, you know, someplace else. Hang on a second. So, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5. Furnace Valley. Wukong. The Yin Yang Fish. Spirit, 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 Spirit. Dark Thunder. The Daoist Robes. Seed. Celestial Pill. A Worm. Ah, here we go. So there's something called a Supreme Gold Button, Long Bomb, and the Slumbering Beetle Husk. Alright, so, where to... Proceed upstairs, cross the bridge from the rock sheet, next go left to enter a room where the old man... Okay, so I need to enter in a room. So I've got... Alright, so... I missed some things. Okay, so he had a gold button, and now we've got this guy to deal with. Oh, cool. So that's both of them defeated, so we no longer have to deal with their bullshit. Oh, this is the room they're talking about. Alright, do I have my medicine gourd? Yep, I do. That gourd is fully whatsamahoozies. What's up, dude? You good?
What comfort does this heart implore? A humble drink, its solace I adore.
A fine brew deserves a fitting gourd. Here, take this. The Bull King accepted his destiny, but there are others who refuse to do the same. Family strife confounds even the wisest. Why should we meddle? With the full gourd's draught by my side, let cares drift away into the tide. The Bull King accepted family strife with a full gourd.
Alright, so we already... Alright, another awakened worm. Alright, what's this? Nice. The Supreme Gourd is ours. 10 slots. We ain't getting fucking huge amount. Alright, so what's the gold button? When at full health, significantly increases attack? Oh, hell yeah. Love that for myself. Absolutely love the idea of having like increased attack at full health. How significant of an attack is it? Alrighty. Moving right along. Was I missing anything? Hang on, so Supreme Cord, so gold button, long bomb, slumbering beetle husk. It's an epic soak to modify... Defeat the yin yang in a gold turtle container in the Emerald Hall. Okay, so I must have already have gotten that soak, I just did not care. So... But yeah, I've basically got everything that I needed from this area. I can now move on with more of this chapter. That 10, like, uses gourd is gonna be, like, so helpful. Because, like, most of the stuff that, like, you know, does extra nonsense usually only has, like, 8 uses. So this gives me an extra 2, which is, like, you know, essentially another... There we go. Go. Oh, hey, body cooling. Nice. Another advertisement. Don't mind if I do. No. Nothing of secret there. Making my way through the flaming mountain, listening to some furries tell me their stories. Da -da 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 -da.
You brat! Fighting for your own pleasure. You should have spared me a cart before my axe gets rusty. I can see the king from here, stripped of his mount and weapon. I wonder what's behind all this. What else is hidden in this mountain? I feel blind. Blind! We should find the king's mount first. The Bishwi beast is treasured by the king as his own kin. How could... wish we pieced his treasure.
Alright, so we've exhausted his dialogue. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, 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 zoom. Cookie for Bookie! Here's your cookie, Bookie. How's it going? How is it? Have you ever had an opportunity to play Black Ops 6 yet? Or do you not have the Xbox Game Pass? Quaggles just introduced me to coupons. You got Domino's. Oh, you did the... Okay. Important question, because here's the thing. Quaggles is good with the coupons, because often enough, like, here's the thing as well. When you're doing Domino's, you always do coupons and what have you. So, never do Domino's without coupons, first and foremost. Secondly, the coupons do a pretty good job into getting rid of, like, basically half the price if you want. Now, the important question, however, is, do you take part in the 20 or 25 minute or 30 minute guarantees that they offer you during checkout? So, I'm not a gambling Zeebs often, but when Domino's says, hey, would you like to pay an extra $5 for, like, you know, a guaranteed delivery or a free pizza inside on the next order? I go for that shit. Because guess what? If I'm doing it with, like, Quaggles and, you know, the other housemate, Butsubishi, more often than not, they fail to get to us in time because there's just so much they have to get ready in order to get to us here. So wait, the pizza isn't always guaranteed to be delivered. It's not always guaranteed to be delivered on time. So, for like $3, you pay for a 30-minute guarantee. If they don't make it in the 30 minutes, you get a free side. If you pay $5, you get a 20-minute guarantee. Otherwise, if they don't make it in 20 minutes, which often they don't, you get a free pizza and side. So because of how often we went for Domino's in that house, I normally went for the $5 guarantee because that would often mean is that I would get a free pizza inside. And considering no matter what the fucking deal was, one pizza was always going to cost more than $5, let alone a free side. You're waiting, you're not paying the extra fee? No, but the point isn't the extra fee to avoid the waiting. You still have to wait. The point is that they fail to get to you on time, so then that way the next time, and there is going to be a next time, Bookie, the next time you go, you're gonna get a free pizza inside. The fuck is that? I can hit it? Alrighty, here we go. Let's see how we go with the ebb and flow. Okay, so it's almost death. It is death. Cool. I didn't know how far it was gonna travel. Okay, there will be a next time. Exactly. And because there's gonna be a next time, you go for that, like 20-minute guarantee or something nonsense. And if they do get it in 20 minutes, yay, it gets to you in 20 minutes. If it doesn't, which is more likely, you get a free pizza inside next time. It's perfect. It's a perfect plan. I do not see anything wrong with this. Okay, so it's instant death the minute I hit it then. So we're not gonna deal with the ball, like, thinking we can destroy it or some shit. Because it hits me for a lot. It's just death. But yeah. Has Quaggles upped his coupon game? Has he gotten more coupons than just Domino's? Or is he still just, you know, Domino's coupon kind of guy? I thought I would have it immobilized for longer, but that is not the case. I'm gonna need to time it in the new section. I thought I would have it, like, paused for longer. I thought it would be like, you know, Legend of Zelda kind of, like, you know, amount of time where it'd just be like ding, 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 ding. Psh. But that wasn't the case. No, okay, so I have to go, like... Oh boy. Fun, 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 fun. Fun, 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 fun. I thought there would be a technique to, like, destroy it or something like that, but I guess there isn't. Beware the fierce assault of larger adversaries. Maybe? Alright, hang on. Alright, not that. Set spells. Alright, let's try this rock solid. Although we will need to reignite some stuff into the rock solid, if I'm being real. Alright, so can be cancelled at will. Moderately reduces the cooldown. Great reduction for a short duration after deflection. Increases the... grants a considerable amount of focus upon successful... Recover a considerable amount of mana upon a successful deflection. Alright. So, I'm gonna see what happens when we use the rock thing instead. Because the rock makes it so that you don't take, like, any damage, usually. Let's see how this goes. 3, 2, 1. Nope, it's just death. This sucks. This ball does not... If you can target it, I feel like you can hit it. I don't know why this ball just doesn't want me to, you know, deal with it in a combative manner. Let me deal with it in a combative manner, please. Alright. Set the spells. Swap that back to Cloud Step. Pluck of Many. Alrighty. Let's give it a try. Ah! Oh my god, I'm at level 100. Yeah, I should have thought so. Alright, let's see what happens. I love it! I still hate the ball. Fuck that ball. But I love that I was able to just simply go... Bop. Lovely. Alright, how close is he? Oh wait, it stops right there. Jesus. Oh no 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 no. Oh.
I'm over here.
Oh, I guess we're...
The fan. Look.
That's the fan?
Mother left her fan before she went away. She must have felt torn between her son and husband. But this iron ball, it just won't stop. Now that you are here, help me drive it away, and I'll let the fan do its work.
Hey, Fox. How can you be sure it's even real?
Rest assured, Mother taught me this spell. Only the real fan will answer it.
The bull sounds weak. Probably on his last legs. Guess I have to trust you once. I'll get down there and stop the ball and let you do your work.
Oh boy. Don't tell me I have to face that ball after running away from it for so long. Boar! Darn.
Don't worry, his thick skin will protect him. Come on, let's save Father first.
Go. Is there a shrine I could probably pray to before we go any further, please? Damn, it just looks really fucking cool, doesn't it? Plague Doctor appears behind Zeebs. Drugs? You got anything to help me lose like 40 kilograms of weight overnight? Without losing one of my organs? Alright. Back over to... I've already talked to him at the Emerald Hall, so we're gonna go back to the Ashen Pass number 3. You got NyQuil and Ozempic. Is that gonna do it? I'll take the Ozempic. Apparently that shit's good. Apparently that's helpful for, like, stifling your hunger and keeping your insulin levels in check, so then that way your metabolism still does its thing. Alrighty. Oh, so it's just for this. No doubt this guy's gonna be a problem. Alright, now I gotta eat the miasma pill and get the resistance. Oh, neat. He's defeated. And then we just have one random monkey just like stuck with the thingies. Hey, 9-cap Lingzhu seeds. That's helpful. Also, is there like a pill up there or something? I see glowing. I see glowing up there. Hang on a second. Yeah! We got another meditation point. All right.
Hello.
Hello, double dog, double D, double dog. Is that what the double D's is for? Is for the double dog? Hello there, Buff Zebra guy. Hi, yes, I am the Buff Zebra. My name is Grant. I go through a variety of games and what have you, and right now I'm going through Black Myth Wukong because it's Monday, and it's Monkey Monday. I've not yet finished this game. Probably gonna keep on playing it on Mondays until I go on holidays and what have you. Wednesdays, I'm going to be going through Spyro. Friday, however, I'm going to be playing Dragon Age Veilguard. Monkey. Monkey. Yes, we play as the Destined One, which I really... Like, I'm going to be real with you. I feel like this is just, like, a reflection of Wukong from, like, the mythos and shit. Like, you know, just... like one of his random strands that is still alive.
Brother is not around. You can hand it over to him now. Brother will surely give up on his plan once it's returned. And then we will be a family again.
You mischievous monkey.
That's me.
You dare to push your luck, but always have a way out. Only you came back at the wrong time.
Are you not thinking straight, Father? I brought the Destined One here to save you.
Thank Christ they're covering his crotch.
But I am not blind. You are not my daughter.
How can you say that to me? I went through flames to find the Destined One for you. But you, Father, don't you see?
I should have locked my eyes up to save me from your pretense.
Worry not, old horned fool. I'll see you shortly.
Ah.
You could have enjoyed a good show, but you simply lack the taste. I should have just killed you all.
Alright.
The guise was perfect. No one could see a single flaw in it. How did you find out then?
Unlike you, she has never needed to fake her respect for me.
Interesting. That little fox. I will find out if it's true after I hunt her down. But first, I should burn you two together and mix your ashes to honor your friendship. Entertainment. That can wait.
point is after blood. I thought you were better than this. I've got more. Take my firebolt. To save him, you'd have to impress me first. Guan Yin failed to imprison me, and you're just a nobody! Flee, coward!
Ah! Tabitha, hi.
Smutty! Fire! Burn him!
Go. The mythology nerd in me just keeps nerding out. Are you familiar with the Journey to the West? Because apparently it makes like granted it's Wukong, like it's taking all those kinds of inspirations, so it's obviously going to make, you know, reference to that. But I don't know them. Is the thing.
Leave behind a ruined family. My son is defeated, but not vanquished. I am afraid he'll rise again soon.
Ugh.
Since it came into my possession, I've kept it in my stomach, hidden from all. I am old now. Fears have grown in me. Fear dare not consume it, let alone give it back to him. Destined, deprived, it's all the same. Don't ever believe their bullshit. You are your choices, causes and effects, not what you're called.
Up.
Thanks to this false death talisman. Poor keeper. Seems his legacy was his only offer after all.
Oh, God. What the? I'm not gonna have a good time. Yeah, that looks like a demon if ever I saw one.
No wonder not a single raindrop was fanned. It was your trick the whole time. My bad, old bull. I was a bit delayed. You little rascal. I'll teach you a lesson on your parents' behalf.
That was painful. Just a little bit. But this gives us an opportunity to backtrack because I know there is a secret area. There's a secret area in every fucking chapter, and I missed it. It is somewhere. Knowing my luck, it is somewhere down, like, back along this path or some bullshit, so we are gonna go and backtrack. Because when you go through the secret area, they give you like a secret item or something like that, which is going to be very useful against the final boss, such as that fucking red boy over there that turned into a motherfucking king. And then that my life will be easier. I just need to be mindful of like whatever fucking you know, thing it's trying to do. It was nice that it gave me like full mana, full everything, but I did waste my potential there. I will be real with you. No, not that. There was like flames and shit a whiles back. Yep, there was like stuff over in this direction. Alright, can't go that way. Ow! Fuck you, jump scare, motherfucker. Thank you. Right in the butt. Let's go. Oh, and we get ourselves a flint thingy-majiggy. Alright, let me just drink up this potion so it's up to full. We get ourselves another fire crystal, which helps us. Because then, once we get 3 of those fire crystals, we can get the staff that gives us extra burn resistance and allows us to do like heavy things with the smash stance, which I think is going to be a lot more helpful than the usual nonsense. Alright. So not down that way. Let's go down this way. So this was the alternative stuff. Oh, hello. Alrighty. Oh, hello. Ow, fuck you for putting me on fire. Chest. Fantastic. But yeah, Tabitha, are you familiar with like the Journey to the West and Chinese mythos? Because that's what this is all based on, by the by. I've not read Journey to the West. I only know like a little bit from like the sarcastic What's-a-Mahoozy channel where it was like these like animations that give you like a really short like synopsis over like, you know, what happened in the mythos. They did a lot of Greek stories. You're aware of the entire game's premise. Nice. Alright, more jump scares I'm imagining is gonna happen next. There's this dude. Oh, there's that random dude there. Alright, open this chest. What do we get? Ooh, fine gold thread. Nice, that would be good for leveling up stuff. Mine core as well. Alright, cool. We're on the right track. We get an entirely new shrine. You're familiar with Shinto mythos, but there's a lot of overlap between Chinese and Japanese mythology? Ah, okay. Does Japan have like something similar to the Journey to the West, or is that like a little too far-fetched? Alright, there we go. Nice, cool. Did not decide to fuck with my day. Two. 3. you for lighting me on fire. Oh. Oh, hey, a cart. A rusty old cart. Oh no! The ox! Seitan Tessie, and the basic info behind the tale is essentially the same. Okay. Did it. Where's the bull that, like, you know, there he is. Hello, fine sir. Oh, you're not doing too good.
My king, he treated me well. To die for him, I would not regret it. But I've failed, brother. Failing his mission is what I regret. My king must have done something reckless for that dumb boy. The truth, I wager, lies beyond that door. That cursed cart was no match for me.
Oh, jeez.
Went easy on it. That's all.
I don't know if that's...
Quite a good lad you are. But remember, don't be swayed. Stay true.
Noted. Okay. Oh hey, I got a flame orb as well. We'll give a look at that flame orb at one point. I wonder where this will take me. Aha. Okay, well it actually takes me to an actual secret area. It doesn't, like, you know, transport me to a new world. It lets me just waltz in, no probs. Nice. The fuck is this place, though? The overlap between Chinese and Japanese mythos, I'm pretty... You sure you heard of the tale of Kaguya, the moon princess and her Lagomorph attendants? No, I have not. I am not familiar with a lot of mythos outside of Greek and Norse mythology, I'm sorry to say. Egyptian, maybe, but that's only by what, you know, Age of Mythology has given me. But, you know, that's about it. For his recognition, I'd give my life for him. A willing warrior. Nice. Alright. We are now in Bishu's cave. Alright. Take a sip. Absorb that. Moving on. I just know Journey to the West and the Moon Presence and the two most recognized works. Okay. Ooh. Septenary Heartfire Pill. No idea what that does for me. Hopefully something good. Hey, we get ourselves a shrine. I do like what the shrine... I do like how the fire shrine, like, sort of bursts into flames like this. It's kind of cool. Alright, so what does the Serpy Whatsamahoozy do? Upon use, instantly resets cooldowns for all spells. That's kind of cool. And then we've got the fortifying thingy-majiggies, the evil repelling, the shock, the miasma, the body warming. Body cooling is down there. Jingsen, body fleeting, amplification, tiger subduing, enhanced tiger subduing. So yeah, because we don't have a lot of monkey head fungus. That requires withered silkworms. Alright. Ooh, actually, fine gold threads, celestial ribbon, gold core tree, and some fire dates. Yes, please, thank you. Alright, and then self-advance. Let's have a look. We can actually do quite a bit, so that increases our perfect dodge nonsense. This makes us so we're resistant to the 4 Banes. Increases the attack. So we got 7, and we can put to 2. Gonna remove that, apply to that. Alright, so we only need like 4 more to maximize our attack. And that's applying 1 right now. So let's put you into there just as a good measure. Massively extend, so we've already got that one going. we've already got that one going. That one's like basically maximized. We could reclaim sparks about this one because these aren't helping me too much. And I can apply it to the maximizing attack thing here. What does the horse do? Let's see. Whipping. Okay, so it does all the Thunderbane nonsense. Increases the might retained. Increases the... So yeah, those I'll need to... Wonder how they expect us to, like, you know... go through upgrade paths. Like, are we meant to be able to, like, you know... go through all of them? Oh, I probably should have double checked. Can I make the cool staff? Craft the weapon. Let's have a look. Nope, I am still missing a Samadhi fire crystal. But to help illuminate how the two are to each other, take Greek and Roman mythology, but not only the names are changed and the fables are a different tale, they just cover the same premises and themes. Ah, okay. Yeah, no, I understand what you're talking about there. Alright. Ooh. Yes, please. I will most certainly have a little moment of meditation. Ow! You didn't have to do that. Also, hi there, Atomica. Welcome to the stream. What time is it? Oh, Jesus. It's like past 9 o'clock. Fuck. How problematic is this gonna be? Aw, 82% cute. Nice work. Alright, hang on. Dink, donk. And then an arena. Yeah, this feels like an arena. Alright, let's see if we can get this done in one take, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you see it?
Guys, gals, non-binary pals, let's see if we can get this done in one take. Oh my god, it's the fucking spinny ball bullshit again.
Even uglier than me. Are you still in the haze or what, you wicked lad? Our Lady asked us to guard this place, not to check another face. Kill whoever breaks in was the order. By your word!
Top takes bottom, bottom takes top. Aha.
You up! I'm not scared! Take a breath! Try death! You do the thrashing! Ain't you a
I do not want to get hit by that because I feel like it's an insta-death. Hi there, Hot. It's a wheel skeleton? Almost. It's a wheel skeleton as a boss.
Take a breather.
Then I'll have it. Come, make yourself.
I can't drain my potency. I'll snatch him up.
Oh, I see. So they put themselves in an impenetrable thingy-majiggy.
Quit nagging. Quit nagging.
I will roll you over.
You're a cruel one. Fine. Go beat yourself to that awful.
Oh, thank Christ I put on the thingy-majiggy that made me just, like, cold as steel.
Right, death.
Come on, drink up, drink up. There we go. There we go. Almost there. Yes!
Down the road.
Oh, those were only Yao Guai chiefs. They weren't even the kings. They weren't even the kings. They were just... Oh my goodness. Pain. Plus, I'm basically out of gourd. You just notice one of them is called top and the other is bottom? Yeah, top takes bottom and bottom takes top. Did you read that as well? are almost full health. Grab that. So yeah, hope you're doing alright. Alright, if there's another shrine we can stop off, I'm probably gonna call the stream there. Because of the fact that, you know, it's past 9 o'clock. I got work the next day. I can't be awake forever. Alrighty. Let's see. Hey, there's a shrine. Alrighty, let's head to it shortly. There we go. Boom. Alright, rest. So yeah, that is going to be it for me tonight. That is it. We are calling the stream there. Thank you oh so much, everyone, for sticking around with me for as long as you did. I really, really appreciate it. Before you all disappear, however, we're going to have a quick look and see who is online and who we can go and raid. Give me a moment to have a quick look at my list of peeps. So we got a number of people who are playing Black Myth Wukong. But it looks like... Ow! Thanks, Kahlua. Are you in the middle of streaming, Kahlua, or are you just sitting here being the funkies? Let's see. You know what? We're gonna go and raid into Chinse the Wolf. They're right now playing Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I'm just watching Hot Zebra Boy stream. Oh my god, Hot Zebra Boy's in your area? Anywhoosies, we're gonna go and raid into Chinse the Wolf. It looks like they're playing with a few peeps in COD Zombies for the Black Ops 6, so that should be a fun one to watch. Our raid message is going to be Keck W. Monke Monday was fun, but himbo time now. And then Keck W. That is going to be our raid message. Thank you so much, Plush, for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. I'm sorry, but we're going to be ending the stream here right now. It's past 9 p.m. I've got work the next day, and I will be back online for streaming on Wednesday night. Wednesday night, we're going to be going through more of Spyro 2, Ripto's Rage, I think is what it's called. So that's what we're going to be playing. Friday night is then I'm going to be trying to play Dragon Age Veilguard. So I'm going to need to be purchasing the game ahead of time. Hopefully it's going to be okay. I also need to put on my Halloween costume for this week because it's going to be Halloween this Thursday. So you'll probably see me wearing my Halloween skin for like this VTuber model is going to wear a Halloween special texture. And I'll wear it on the Wednesday and the Friday at the very least. Otherwise, I want to say thank you everyone who came along to tonight's stream. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful time over at Chinse the Wolf's channel, and otherwise, I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.